Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 246. And away we go.
Wait till get a shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm a Ramon Razor. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 246 of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at Michael J. Putty, joined, as always, Marcus Schwann. Mark, what's going on, buddy? How you been?
It's just, you know, we've been on so many episodes together. You refuse to acknowledge me by my regular name.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I had a good week.
You refuse to acknowledge me as the Hollywood assassin, your favorite actor, Mark Schwann. That's my name.
That's not your name.
It is my name.
What's going on? How's your week been?
Week's been pretty good, man. It actually flew by, truth be told.
Okay.
Been very busy with, rehearsal for my play, putting the work in, starting a new business. I've been auditioning. So it's been a pretty busy week.
I've noticed for a while now, I'm not sure if it's the pandemic or what the fuck's going on, but the days don't go by quickly.
This past week, I have to say it has for me.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. The days don't feel like they go by quickly, but when I look back, the week just flew by. It was my birthday last week. So it's weird how the days don't go by fast, but looking back, time just flies by. I'm like, how's that happen?
Yeah.
Usually,
Dude, it's March.
Yeah. Almost a year since this shit's going down, huh?
I know, man. March 11th. That's when the world ended for me, at least. March
7th, the last time I shaved, because it was the last show we went to, BWF's last show. March 7th. It's been a year since we've seen indie wrestling.
Well, I went to BCW's anniversary show. I did that.
That's right. Whatever, Mark. You're cooler than me, okay?
I am cooler than you, because what happened that day? Rick Recon went on to advance in the Dragon Championship tournament.
In your defense, that's a hard name to say.
It was hard to say. I'm drunk off sushi right now. And we crowned the first ever BCW Tag Team Champions, Dominic De Niro and Chris Barton, my boys. It was a very big night for Satsujin.
Surprised you remember anything. Last time I checked, you were drunkenly stumbling on the boardwalk.
Well, it was a very big night, Putty. I had to celebrate. I went a little bit hard.
You went a lot hard.
I was pretty extra that night. I'm not going to lie. But it was worth it. Do you see indie wrestling coming back anytime soon? Are we going to go back to BWF, BCW coming back anytime soon? I think they're saying July or August, right? Yeah, it's looking like summer. It looks like indie wrestling will be making a comeback, at least the promotions that we've done business with. I know Titan, it's coming up very soon. It's coming in, I think, the next couple of weeks. And
great. Great. BWF's coming back just in time for this brutal summer. It's so hot in there during the summer. You always find a way to complain, buddy. You always find a negative in everything. Yes, but I look to see the. You just got to break that cycle, man. You just got to break it. I'm all right. I'm so used to it. Glass half empty. Go to Atlantic City, grab a brownie. Oh, man, I'm dying to go to Atlantic City. Just to get away. Get the oxygen pumping. We should take a trip. A Shot of Wrestling trip down to Atlantic City. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. When I get my fucking stimulus check, let's do this. When I get my vaccine, I'm down to go. Oh, man, I can't wait. So I over the weekend, I checked online. There's a college here by me that's open to only local residents. And wouldn't you know, Mark, the whole month of April was wide open. Stop. I don't believe you. So I'm like, oh, this is too good to be true. I don't know where this college is. So I Googled it. How's the parking situation? What's going on? I'm like, all right, it's not that far. Worst comes to worst, I'll just take a cab because I hate parking. And wouldn't you know, Mark, I secured myself an appointment for the vaccine, right? Okay. You have to fill out a couple pages of questions. Did that. Go to finalize everything. Boom. Site crashes. Can't get back in. Oh, no. The next day I go back in and everything's taken. Nothing's been open since. So fucking close. So close, Marcus.
I'm going to call you almost from now on.
Yeah. Marcus, speaking of road trips, you want to take a road trip up to the boondocks upstate, the boonies? Because there's so many appointments available in Rochester, Albany, Buffalo.
Binghamton, everyone's going to. Hey, Buffalo, my brother lives up there. I'm down to take a trip up there, see my brother get a vaccination shot.
Let's go. Unbelievable.
Road trip sucks up there. I'll tell you that.
I can imagine.
I've done that drive.
Especially in the winter?
Miserable. Although summer, I have to say, it's pretty nice up there.
Is it?
It actually, dude, the sun stays up till about like 10 o'clock at night. It's crazy.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, awesome. Maybe we'll talk more about this off air, okay?
Okay. And actually, like, there's a train right by me, right? The Amtrak. It does take you up there for, I think, like $60, something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So we can pregame, too.
Pregame. You drink on there. I think there's a bar in there, too.
We do some shots on our way to the shots.
I've been curious about taking that train. I'm not going to lie.
It's got to be cool.
It beats driving.
Hell yeah. My brother took a train to Boston not that long ago, and he had some sort of like mileage points saved up or whatever it was. So he had, like, and of course, no one's really traveling these days too much. So he had the entire like first class cart all to himself.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm like, that's got to be the way. Not only because it's all the space and quiet, but there's nobody breathing on you.
I have an actor friend who's so he booked like 3 different movies before this pandemic, and then they all decided to get greenlit to go all around the same time. He's filming in different parts of the country, all back to back to back. So he was telling me when he was traveling, he's traveling during this pandemic, these different parts of the country, and how the planes were packed. And he was getting anxiety over it. It's insane. I was like, oh man, I think it's a blessing that you had, but man, I don't want that.
But someone was on some sort of show. I forgot what show I was watching, but they're saying planes are probably the safest place to go because of their filtration system.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, like, can we get the filtration system everywhere else? Can we?
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
You know, my wife is a teacher. You know what her filtration system is?
No, what?
She has to crack the window open.
Damn.
Even during the winter.
Does she have?
It's been a bad winter.
Does she have AC and heat in her classroom?
Nope.
That sucks.
And she's in a pretty wealthy school district. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it's just insane.
My high school had central heat, central air conditioning. I didn't really think too much of it, but then I heard that that's not the normal case. That's not the norm. Most of these schools don't have central heat or air conditioning.
No. It tends to be like the school districts that are like tend to be like the better school district. I remember the school I went to was on the higher end as far as like the wealth of the town and whatnot, and we didn't have like heat or air.
Really? Wow. That's nuts.
I think the way it goes, don't quote me on this, I think with like the better schools tend to be not in the better areas of in the better towns, because I think of state funding to get appropriated to like those types of neighborhoods, I believe. I'm not too sure.
That's Mark Schwann. Quote him. Do you watch Golden Globes? You're an actor. Is that something you watched?
Okay. You want to talk about this? I'll talk about this. So I am not watching the awards this year.
Do you usually?
I usually do.
Okay.
I usually vote on it for the SAG Awards, just because of the fact of this. This is for the exception for TV. I feel like TV put some really good quality shit out there, and I think the awards definitely need to keep going for that. But for movies this year, should not have happened, because what movies are out there?
A lot of movies came out.
Not a lot.
But like on the streaming services, yeah.
Not a whole lot. Not like, you know, how it normally would be.
Oh, of course not. But
that's
enough,
what I'm saying.
I'm curious what the Oscar nominations are going to be like.
But like, you know, I've seen a good chunk of these movies. I think one of them could be a contender in a normal year, but some of these movies, not so much.
Is that like Borat won?
Borat was good,
but it won.
That was for a comedy though. In that category.
Do you think it would have won on a normal year?
Maybe. Just because of the balls it took to do a film like that. But you know, I'm not even talking about that. I think honestly, like, I would be pissed if I was an actor and won this year, because it's pretty much luck of the draw. Like, hey, we just so happened, like, you know, the timing of the movie was just right, whatever, yada yada. Because a lot of movies shut down or they didn't get released because of this pandemic. You know, I didn't necessarily go against the very best. I won just out of pure luck, of just things out of my control. I would not accept the award personally. I was like really thinking about that.
Yeah, you would.
I wouldn't.
You put your heart and soul into this project. You busted your ass for this project. You recognize.
I thrive on competition. I do.
Anyway, Mark, enough of this. Can we get into some news?
Sure.
It's time for In the News with Michael J. Putty and Mark Schwab.
All right, Putty. So it looks like Bobby Lashley made some headlines, winning the WWE title on Raw. He had an interview with Complex magazine where he spoke about the future of the Hurt Business. Apparently, they're looking into the possibility of adding a woman to their faction. Now, they have some names on their short list there. Who do you think could be on that list? Who do you think could benefit from joining the Hurt Business?
Woman?
Woman. They want a woman.
I know there's been rumors of Naomi for a while, and because she wasn't doing much, which would be great to see because she's underutilized right now. But she's in this team with Lana. So I'm not too sure, man. There's so many names that you could think of. Do you bring up someone from NXT that's not doing anything?
That could be a possibility too.
And I don't see Ember Moon coming back. She's doing
Simone Johnson. Could it be?
I'm willing to bet my life that it is not that.
One can dream, Putty. One can dream.
So I'm not sure. Who do you think, Mark? I mean, there's not that many names I can think of that would fit into the group. Do you have anybody offhand?
I mean, Tamina Snuka comes to mind, but she's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right. So that's out, obviously. I'm trying to think who's on that roster. Really, the biggest one I could really think of is Naomi, just because of the fact that she's with Lana really doesn't mean anything. I mean, look what happened with Cedric Alexander, right? He was a face, he was a baby face, like a die-hard baby face, and next thing you know, MVP got into his ear, and eventually we saw him turn to be a part of the Hurt Business. So you can't write off Naomi right off the bat. If anything, her teaming with Lana could be leading to her maybe turning heel and joining with the Hurt Business. But with the way it's going right now, would you call the Hurt Business even a heel faction anymore? I mean, they're getting a lot of praise and kudos here.
I talked to a friend of mine about that because Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business are heels.
Yeah.
They have gotten some heel reaction on the Thunderdome. You see a lot of people are putting the thumbs down on the video screen. And of course, they're getting booed by piped in audio. But going back, I wonder if there was audiences around. I'm assuming they would be heels now because just the reactions online, including myself and you talking about it on the show, we're behind Bobby Lashley. We're behind this.
Behind it, and just if you want to talk about representation, it really is awesome to see. Someone pointed out to me just the diversity of champions right now that WWE has.
Yeah,
and I think that's phenomenal. I think it's great to see too, the fact that wasn't on the forefront of my mind. Actually, it's just the way they just subtly have done it. They didn't make an overly big deal about it. This is something that should just be like, oh, this is a thing. It's natural, And I think it's cool. And you see it in social media, the tribute of the black champions.
Yeah. Only four black men have been WWE champion. That's insane.
That's insane. I
didn't
realize.
The Rock's only half black.
And I mean, he's still black, but just the fact that you put that number out there, I mean, it's mind blown. And you see all these stats and these tributes, and you can't help but feel that love. Feel like, damn, that's awesome. Good for you.
And I remember talking about this in the beginning of the summer when Bobby Lashley first teamed with MVP. I remember talking about it on the show. I'm like, Mark, can't believe I'm going to say this, but my takedown of the week is Bobby Lashley.
Right.
Am I really digging Bobby Lashley? And then from there, it just snowballed ever since his feud with Drew McIntyre in the summer for the championship. And the Hurt Business just took off. Hurt Business is an amazing faction. And I was talking to a friend of mine, too. It's just, remember when we also talked about this on the show, there was rumors of the MVP and Bobby Lashley reforming the Nation of Domination.
Yes.
And obviously they did not go that route. They went this route, which is way better. I'm so happy they went this route. Because also, I don't see it as a black faction. I just see it as a faction. Race has nothing to do with it, and I think that's makes it even better.
Which, going back to our question before about, you know, a female being part of the Hurt Business, you know, right away when we went to Naomi, because, you know, there seems to be the stigma that this might be just a black faction, but I think it is more than that. I think it would be interesting if they maybe if they did bring a woman, someone that's not black, maybe someone's mixed, someone Latino, maybe someone Japanese, or even even a white girl. You know, it really depends. It just depends who fits that mold of, like, you know, who can be part of the Hurt Business, you know, that brand, because it is a brand. You look at them, they look like GQ, you know. And
not going based on her race, but Naomi does fit perfectly there. I can see Naomi rocking out with the sharp dressed coming out, because Naomi is a badass.
That's what it is.
She would just fit perfectly in.
You just touched it right there. They are all badass, and they also have what's in common is the fact that they've been overlooked.
Yep.
A lot of them for a long ass time. You know, kind of like how the New Day was, actually. You know, different brand, of course, but, you know, all three men were overlooked until they came together, and now they're the hottest thing going.
Basically, yeah.
Even separate, but the Hurt faction, again, different style, but yet I think the same effect. And if they were to add a woman, I think that'd be incredibly unique.
I've been saying for the last 5 years of the show, what I love about factions is when they come together and they just dominate a show and they win all the belts. You know, which is what I love about Evolution. That iconic scene of them on the ramp, Triple H being the world champion, Randy Orton IC champion, and Batista, Ric Flair tag team champions. So I would love to see MVP get better once he's healed, and him win maybe back to the United States Championship. Then you throw a woman in the mix. She gets a Raw Women's Championship.
I actually like what he's doing. He's got that hybrid role. He's like the coach, the player
coach. Yeah,
you know? Yeah, I dig it. But you know who came to mind just now, actually, Putty? I fit that description of someone that's a badass, that has style, that's kind of being overlooked. You know what I'm thinking of right now? Who's on Raw, by the way?
Charlotte Flair, like you always do?
No. Mia Yim.
Oh, I can see that.
Even though she's with Reckoning, but with the Retribution, excuse me. Keep in mind, I mean, Mustafa is not necessarily treating his crew very well.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
He keeps on lashing out on them every week, you know, and she's not really being used much. I mean, that could be something.
How do you put Mia Yim behind a mask? You know what I'm saying?
It's beyond me. And, you know, I think, honestly, you know, we talked about how awesome Mia Yim was in NXT, and then going to this and, you know, taking away her name. What's her name? Is it Reckoning?
Reckoning, yeah.
It is Reckoning. Okay. And see, the fact that I didn't even ask that, like, I mean, she's getting so lost in the shuffle there.
Like 2 or 3 matches?
Right. And she could be doing so much more. Now, imagine her breaking away. I think this is how you save her character. This is how you save Mia Yim, to work with the Hurt Business. I think that'll be money. I think that'll be a great fit.
I'm down for that. Save Mia Yim. Mia Yim.
It'll tell a story.
Yeah. Just save her. She's doing nothing, man. She's floundering.
And then imagine this, man. Say they bring some real shit into this. You know, Keith Lee. It's no secret the relationship that Keith Lee has with Mia Yim.
Yep.
Now imagine that type of rivalry. Keith Lee with the Hurt Business. You know, why are you recruiting my wife or my fiance? What are you doing here?
You never know, Mark. Sky's the limit.
I think that'd be very interesting. I think that will be money.
So someone who I remember hearing a lot of good things about in NXT, who has done absolutely nothing. I think she's on vacation off the face of the earth. I just looked up on the app the roster. Vanessa Bourne.
That was another name I was kind of thinking of. She was rumored to actually be part of Retribution.
Yeah, I remember that. I think she was part of one of the segments.
Right.
Or during the hoods.
Lucky for her, she wasn't.
Yeah. One of the names I came up with was someone I was a big fan of during Raw Underground, Brianna Brandy, but now she's being paired up with, I think, Swerve on NXT, so I don't think she's available.
Right.
But yeah, Mia Yim, I think, would be an amazing asset to the Hurt Business.
It would be great. And plus, I mean, we really are talking about it as if this is going to happen in the near future. It may not happen in the near future. You know, like, you know, I threw the name Tamina before, Who's to say that she doesn't get redrafted to Raw or whatever, and that winds up being a thing? We don't know.
What's cool is that they don't need a woman either. Like they're doing fantastic as they are, but a woman just adds so much to it, another dimension.
It would be really cool, and unique to have. And the fact is that he's talking about it, and it has like a short list, that they do have a short list of women that they would like to have on that crew. It means it could happen. There's a good chance it could happen.
Who would you like to see join the Hurt Business? Hit us up on our social medias. I'm curious to see what your opinions are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Putty. So moving on. So as we know in the news, in the regular news, the mainstream media, as some people call it, the states are loosening up restrictions throughout the country. Texas and Mississippi, and now as of today, West Virginia, are now completely, I should say, lifting the mask mandate and declaring themselves 110% open.
Assholes. Assholes.
Now, some other states are kind of following suit, but a slower process, but they are lifting some restrictions, New York included. Could we see wrestling hitting the road sooner rather than later? Is it time now, Putty?
No, fuck that. Imagine you're a boxer, okay? And you have Muhammad Ali on the ropes.
Yeah.
And instead of throwing the knockout punch, you back up, give him a chance to breathe.
That's a great way of putting it.
That's what these fucking schmucks, these fucking rednecks are doing.
It's not just the rednecks, though. The rednecks, I agree.
I meant rednecks as in Republicans.
They're completely open, but like you just said, New York is loosening restrictions too, and we have
our
own strain. We have our own strain going on.
We can definitely loosen it. I mean, I'm not saying lock down completely. Loosen it, yes. More people are indoor dining, fantastic. Not 100%. Open the movie theaters, fine. 25%, that's fantastic. Keep the masks. But fucking Texas is opening up 100% everything. No restrictions, no masks, no nothing. I'm like, okay, y'all are gonna fuck it up for us.
Yeah. I mean, they really are. That was my first thought too, is that they're gonna fuck it up for everyone. I really can't wait to get my vaccine, because now at this point, I just want to save myself.
Yeah, even if they're not like 100% effective, at least it would give you some sort of peace of mind.
Right. Or at the very least, with the Johnson & Johnson one, I'm not going to wind up in a hospital or dead if I get the thing. You know?
It's just fucking nuts, man. No, don't. We're talking about this, like, it seems like we talk about this every couple of weeks because some idiot says, oh, we're opening. No, please. No.
Now, I agree with you, Putty. Now, what do you think is actually going to happen, though? Do you see AEW or WWE actually consider, like, all right, maybe we can start touring a little bit?
I said this, I think, last summer. I could see something happening around SummerSlam.
Yeah. Well, already it's going to technically happen with WrestleMania. They're going to be at Raymond James Stadium, a limited capacity. But what happens after that? That's the thing.
So my insight is I'm curious to see what happens with SummerSlam. Now, the president's saying every American could get a vaccine by there's enough to vaccinate people by May. Getting an appointment is a fucking different story, Mark. Like we talked before the show starts.
Exactly. So really, like, people are not going to get really the vaccine going until probably end of summer.
I can see them doing some sort of crowds, not fully packed in.
Would you go?
No.
Can I tell you something? I ran a survey on Shot Wrestling on our Twitter, and I asked the fans. I put it up to them. If WWE and AEW start traveling again, hosting live crowds, would you attend? 65% said yes. I was kind of shocked by that one.
Yeah, me too. But also,
65%.
It's not. Well, again, we'll all be. A lot of us will be vaccinated. So maybe I could see it, but it's not going to be
like as of right now. I'm not saying, hey, when we're all vaccinated. That I'm talking about right now.
Like tomorrow?
People would go. 65% of people would say, yes, I will go
tomorrow.
Right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But again, a lot of people still think Trump won the election. He's going to get inaugurated on the 4th, which didn't happen, but that was just a ruse. Now it's like the 10th.
Here's the thing, buddy. Here's what I'm getting.
So people are crazy out there.
I agree with you, but here's the thing. Businesses, they look at money. So if we just ran a survey or a poll, if you will, with our limited following that we have. Now imagine what WWE or AEW does with their finances. So they actually have poll groups and focus groups, where they do these type of studies to look at the numbers. Hey, is this worth doing? If 65% of our following answered yes to this, imagine what they're going to get.
But again, going back to AEW though, like they don't need to travel because they're out fucking side. And they already have fans already.
They gain fans, but they can get more when they travel around. That's the thing.
Too soon.
And like same with WWE, they're ready to go.
Isn't like Florida also opening up 100%? So they could technically pack that fucking daily place.
Not yet. I haven't heard Florida yet doing that, but I'm sure it's coming. As I just said, we record, as our loyal fans know, we record on Fridays, and just today, West Virginia, they said they're open. So it's only a matter of time before more states say we're open. I can imagine Florida being next, maybe Oklahoma, Louisiana said they'll. I honestly think they're 100%, but it's pretty damn close. So I can see more and more states following suit. So I mean, at that point,
again,
WWE and AEW might be licking their chops, like, "Hey, man, it's time to go." You have Chris Jericho, tweeting out, "Hey, time to open up 100%." Medusa saying, "Amen, brother. Let's open up."
Well, Chris Jericho also donated to Donald Trump's campaign, so you know how his views on everything. It's just no. You got to have you have to have the like scientists, people saying, "Don't do this. Don't too soon." Again, maybe wait till the summer. Wait till more people get the vaccine. Wait till there's enough vaccines to get more. Instead of waiting 3 months for a vaccine, maybe I can wait a week. It's just wait till the vaccines get more out there. What they call it, herd immunity. Then you can start talking about traveling. You guys have a good thing going here.
I'm with you.
Daily place, fantastic. The Thunderdome, wherever it's going to be in the next couple months, fantastic.
I'm with you 1,000%. I just don't necessarily trust Vince and Tony Khan to listen to that type of logic. I think they're going to look at numbers. I think they're going to look at
but again, they don't. Also,
I think they're going to. I think they may listen to that instead.
They don't need it either because aren't they making hand over fist in money? They're not losing money here. It's not like they need. We need to fucking make up the money. We need money. No, this WWE made God how many billions of dollars last quarter. No rush. Take your time. Just relax. Because not only you put your fans in danger, you're going to put your fucking performers at danger, and you don't want that.
That's a good point. I wonder how the performers feel. Because, I rattled off Chris Jericho and Medusa. And Medusa's not really competing for AEW. Chris Jericho is. But, I can imagine some others might be feeling the same way, not necessarily being as vocal as Chris Jericho is about it. I really wonder, what is the split in the locker room as far as like, hey, we should go or hey, we should stay.
Yeah.
I really wonder.
I wonder too. But also, they need to compete for a paycheck.
Exactly. So they're not going to say shit.
Yeah.
I hear what you say before about Chris Jericho with like, his support for Trump and for some of the statements that he's made on Twitter. I don't agree with it at all. But goddamn, he's so good at what he does. Like when I watch him, like I forget all about that. It's just
as we should.
Right.
Watch wrestling, forget about everything, and that's what we're supposed to do. I didn't say that he's a Trump supporter as a negative comment. I just said he supports Trump. No wonder he's for traveling again. It wasn't a negative connotation. I mean, Chris Jericho was awesome, but I see why he wants to travel again because he is in that mindset of let's just get back to normal.
Right. I mean, it's Neanderthal-like thinking, Yeah. To quote one of our leaders right now, but moving on though, Putty. So Paul White made his debut in AEW Dynamite and he broke some groundbreaking news. He mentioned that a Hall of Fame worthy level of talent will be debuting at AEW Revolution. Tony Khan confirmed the news that it will be a major star signing a multi-year contract. Who could this person be, Putty? Who is AEW bringing on board now? And is it enough? Because it seems like, Tony Khan was on Impact with that advertisement saying, his alliance with Impact and in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's us versus them. Obviously, a shot at WWE. It seems like he's playing chess right now. He's got a chessboard out there, and he's lining up the pieces just right. Is this next star? Could this be the thing that to put the place in for checkmate, or at least even a check?
No,
against WWE.
No, because also I missed when he said Hall of Fame worthy. I missed that part, but I did catch. It's not who you think it is.
It's not who you think it is, right?
So, of course, everybody first think it's CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. I didn't think Brock Lesnar. So those two names first came to mind. So obviously it's not them because it's not who you think it is.
It's not who you think it is.
Then
right.
Kurt Angle's being thrown around.
But he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in a Hall of Fame. Is he in? Doesn't mean he's not Hall of Fame in like other Hall of Fames.
No, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Big
Show said,
is he in the Pro?
Said he's a Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, but he's not.
Talent.
He's not in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. But then, of course, I hear my boy Christian, and most people are saying Christian's signed. But of course, I heard today some people are saying he's not signed. So it could be Christian. CM Punk.
They're talking about this to be like a groundbreaking thing.
Yeah.
Tony Khan dropped hints saying that it's his favorite wrestler.
No names I mentioned are groundbreaking. No names I've mentioned are going to be worthy. All the names I mentioned are past their prime. So it's like
CM Punk and Brock Lesnar are groundbreaking. That would be pretty damn big. Initially, at one point, I thought maybe it's a woman, but Tony Khan said today it's definitely a guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay, true. Brock Lesnar also like wrestles 3-4 times a year.
Sure.
Not because WWE lets him, but that's what he wants to do.
It's a marquee name.
I just don't see it. I just feel like whoever's going to be announced is going to be a letdown.
Okay. It's going to be a letdown. What? Okay. How do I phrase this? Who would they have to sign? Would it just be one talent or be multiple talents for even them to get to that point where, like, hey, WWE, we have you a check right now, your move?
It's not going to be guys in their late 40s, early 50s.
No, I'm asking, like, what move would they have to make, or would it be multiple moves?
Probably multiple moves. I'm not thinking about that because that's way above my pay grade. I just think it's not going to be signing of a one big name. Didn't work for Sting. It didn't work for the Big Show. It's not going to work for Brock Lesnar. It's not going to work for CM Punk. Well, CM Punk, he has a cult following. But it's not going to work for Christian. It's not going to be Kurt Angle. It's got to be somebody. And I'm saying it's going to be a letdown.
I think Big Show was we talked about this before about being a shock factor when he was signed. That was a huge shocking thing. Like, everyone was like, whoa, Big Show to AEW, blah, blah, blah. That's big.
Yeah.
It had buzz going about AEW, which is great. You had the online social media buzz, had people tuning in. They increased their ratings by 200,000. There's just shy of 1 million this past week. And I think them dropping this news, they already had a pretty decent card going into Sunday. Apparently, they also have another surprise being a sixth person in that ladder match that they have.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's not necessarily the surprise signing. That's not something completely separate. I think they're doing an interesting job here, whether it's going to be a letdown or not, as far as bringing, again, more eyes to the product. I think making a statement like this, having this announcement, is going to just generating a lot of buzz, generating a lot of intrigue, and I think it's actually going to keep more eyes open. Maybe you have more orders than normal for a pay-per-view.
Reminds me of Impact Slammiversary. Oh, we had a big name coming, a former world champion's coming. I'm like, all right, so you have this X amount of people on the list. And it turned out to be Eric Young. All right, that makes sense.
Did that recently, yeah.
Wasn't huge name, wasn't a huge impact. It was some Impact player coming home who was underutilized in WWE. I just felt like it was a letdown. I just feel like this is going to be a letdown as well. There's so much hype. There's nothing that can equal the hype.
The way they're talking about it, right? It is saying it is a major star. So
unless somebody,
like a former world champion,
unless somebody from fucking Japan, who no name from Japan. I don't know anybody from Japan. Unless some big name from Japan or Germany or England, I'm like, okay.
I'm really trying to think like who's not signed, whose contract is like kind of up. I mean, would it be Batista? I mean, would it be John Cena? Would it be The Rock? I mean, John Cena, The Rock, groundbreaking, game changer.
Yeah, those would be well worth the hype.
WWE checkmate, I would say.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm don't know, man.
this ain't multi-year, man. So it's also making me think maybe it's someone in their 30s, not necessarily in their 40s. They're making this a big deal, dude. I for one, I hope it's not a letdown. I really hope like it lives up to the hype, because like AEW could use that boost. You know, we talked about before about, you know, the rating is kind of staying between the 700s, 900,000s consistently. They haven't broken that million barrier yet. And I think they are maybe a couple pieces away from that being the case for them to hit over 1 million consistently. If they have the star power to back it up, I think that'd be awesome. But at the same time,
it can't be someone old.
I agree with you. I think they are more than one piece away from this. Like, you know, translating this to football, you know, talk about the New York Jets, how, you know, a lot of people, a lot of fans, you know, want Jets to take a quarterback with their second overall pick, or to try to sell the farm for Deshaun Watson. Mind you, we are not a quarterback away from being a winning team. I don't think the AEW is a one wrestler away from being a dominant promotion in the wrestling industry.
I think you might have lost some listeners here. You said you wanted to talk about football, right? Then you're talking about the Jets. You got to pick a side.
Don't be a dick. You know what I'm talking about.
That's magic thing about retiring. Outside.
Is it really?
Yeah. Who do you think it's going to be? Let us know on social media. By the time this show posts, we'll know who it is. So don't do that. We'll
know who it is. Yeah, don't do that. But, Putty, that's all I have for the news. Do you have anything else before I move on?
Oh, yeah. Just a quick question. For the last, 3 weeks, you've been saying how, AEW hasn't cracked a million viewers yet. What do they got to do to crack 1 million viewers?
Why you make me sound like Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, I got to work on it. I'm working on it. That sucks. I'm working on it. I'm Mark Schwann. But now with the rumor of NXT moving to a different night, do you think that will help NXT viewers crack 1 million?
Now, here's the thing. I didn't want to touch on this. I saw that was a rumor. I don't necessarily want to discuss rumors until it's true.
Okay, but if it is true, do you think it'll help them crack 1 million?
Since you brought it up, yeah, I think it could actually, because it's not like they're too far away from cracking 1 million. You know, they're always kind of like flirting with it. With NXT going to Tuesdays, so if that is indeed the day they're going to move to, or if they're being moved at all, yeah, that could be tremendous for AEW, and I think it'll be tremendous for NXT. If they move to Tuesdays, the biggest thing that's going to hurt is Impact.
Yeah.
Unless, hear me out, you know, AEW Impact, they seem to have some sort of partnership going. Unless, you know, the AEW tries to boost something there with Impact. You know,
I'll see that happening.
It could be, like, you know, again, Tony Khan's thrown out there. There's us versus them. It will be interesting to see. You know, it makes me think even further. Like, all right, why are they teaming up with Impact? They didn't necessarily have to do this. Did they hear rumblings before about maybe NXT moving to Tuesday? I don't know, but yeah, I think it could help AEW for sure. There's no wrestling on Thursdays. I mean, move to Thursday.
But also Thursdays is famous for being a packed, stacked night of TV. So. Do you want to compete with the big shows on Thursday, the must-see TV shows? Who knows? But,
Buddy, moving on, I do have another interview I have to tease here. In Hollywood's Corner, my next guest is
name pending.
Vicious Vicki. Buddy, play the clip.
So what was the biggest takeaway, you know, coming back home from the Performance Center? I mean, you were there for how long?
4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
4 days. It's not just like when you say 4 days, it's not like 4 days. You're there for like 4 days, like nonstop, I'm sure, of training and there were wrestling promos, learning the business and whatnot. So, like, you know, you walk away, you're going back home. What was the one thing that just stays with you as far as the aha moment that I got to apply to my game here?
There was a lot of things, actually. Just having confidence and knowing what your gimmick is, because at the time when I went, the Vicious Vicki you see now wasn't really born yet. No. So I still was rocking the blue and the vest, and, you know, like, I wasn't what I am right now. So I remember the biggest thing I remember, little thing, was when I had my tryout match, and when I came to the ring, I heard Norman Smiley whispering to someone else, "What's the gimmick?" when I came out. And I'm like, okay. Ooh. Not in a bad way, just like trying to figure out, like, okay, what's the gimmick? You know what I mean? Like, what is she? And it just I didn't have it yet.
Funny, can you believe Vicious Vicki felt at one point, she wasn't as confident as she is today. I can't even picture that, but here she was. I mean, you gotta listen to the whole interview where she talks about her whole experience there at the Performance Center. That was just a small snippet of it. She definitely learned a lot over there. She talks about her breakup with Nikos Ricos. She opened up about that. I was actually surprised she did. And talked a whole lot more about her transition from ballet to champion. She talked about how she feels about intergender wrestling. A lot of cool stuff. Awesome interview with Vicious Vicki. It was great catching up with her. She's amazing. Nothing but love for her.
She's awesome. Good friend of the show. She's great. You're one to watch in 2021, and I think the sky's the limit for her. Again, she's pretty young, too, and she's already got a tryout for WWE. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, sky is the limit for her, man. Like I said, she's my one to watch for 2021. I'm sticking to it, man. Doubling down, if anything.
So that will be available Tuesday on our YouTube page, Shot of Wrestling No A, Hollywood show, name pending.
Hollywood's Corner.
Name pending. We'll figure it out.
It's not name pending. It's 3 shows in. It's a thing.
Yeah, we can still change the name. Anyway, Mark, we had a great week of wrestling this week, so let's get right into TV Takedown.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
All right, Mark, like I just mentioned, I don't know about you, but I thought this week from beginning to end, a lot of good stuff happened. So I'm curious to see what your takedown was.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on this between Raw and AEW, honestly. But, I think I'm going to lean to Raw because of something my wife said about it. My wife is not a wrestling fan by any means necessary. I mean, she's really like, when I have it on, she's scrolling through her phone, could give 2 shits about what's on TV. But then Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss had their segment, right? And of course, it was creepy, weird, unique, original. I was digging it, especially never really seen this version of Randy Orton where he's I guess we could say possessed, right? Or like another dimension of the version of Randy Orton. I don't even know, but
was that Randy Orton or was it the Fiend taking the shape of Randy Orton?
Right. So again, unique. But then I see my wife, right? The cell phone slowly going down. Her eyes are glued to the TV. If she was intrigued, and she even said, "Well, I definitely want to know more what's going on here." And that's when I knew. Raw segments like this, they do a good job of catching just an everyday viewer, not necessarily a hardcore wrestling fan, but to bring it. That's how you bring in a new audience when you do a compelling storyline like that. Like, hey, what's going on here? That was cool. I remember back in the Attitude Era, they got a lot of new fans by doing shit like that. But having intriguing storylines and getting people to stop and think, hey, what's this? What's going on there? They asked wrestling fans, oh, well, you see what's going on here. Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. He hates his boss, blah, blah, blah. It's shit like that. And that's how you get new wrestling fans, not necessarily by the action in the ring, by people doing all this acrobatic moves. You might be like oohs and ahs for a second, but you don't necessarily get them coming back for more.
Nope.
And I think that was so cool to watch. And that automatically, I feel like that has to be my takedown of the week. But with that being said, Putty, I want to ask you, obviously I think we're going to see Bray Wyatt, the Fiend versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It looks like, it's foreshadowing possibly kind of what we saw last year, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, that Firefly Funhouse match. It was cinematic. It was unique and interesting. Some might call it not a match, but still pretty cool. Stole the show, in my opinion. How do you think that's going to work with a live crowd, though, this year?
I don't see it working with a live crowd.
Can they even do that? Do they have to do something different then?
Unless it's all backstage stuff.
But again, live crowd.
Yeah, but you just watch it on the screen, like the backstage segment. It's just like, okay.
So kind of like the Boiler Room match years ago.
Yeah.
Undertaker versus Mankind. But that was a different time. Do you feel like that would work today? If that match, Undertaker Mankind, Boiler Room match, SummerSlam, what year was it? 96?
Don't know offhand. Sounds about right.
But I think me and you can both agree that was a cool match to watch at that time, at home on TV. I don't necessarily know if that match would hold up today, if that happened in a live crowd today.
I think this one would. Everyone's Google Gaga over the Fiend. Randy Orton doing his best work he's ever done in his career. So, and it's only going to be a handful of fans. I think it will work. I think it's doable. Would it be like a great idea to do? No, but it's doable.
It's making me wonder more and more once they have more of a live crowd going, like how is necessarily the Fiend and Alexa Bliss, the stuff that they do, how is it going to work? Because we've seen them in front of a live crowd, but like not necessarily to a full extent of what they're doing now. Now it's like it's been really cool, but I wonder if like did it get too cool the fact that now they have to bring it back down a few notches.
I'm saying WWE's taking full advantage of no crowd by editing and pre-tape stuff. They're doing a fantastic job with it. When crowds come back, either it's going to be backstage stuff or it's going to hurt. But like you remember AJ Styles, Undertaker Boneyard match was the main event of night one.
Right.
So unless this is going to be like the main event of night one where they just, instead of throwing it to the fans, they just end the night and we see it, who's watching it on TV.
I think they'll get booed out of the arena though.
Well, there's going to be no audio. Fans are just watching it. Here's the main event. To watch it now or to watch it later?
I'm curious to see, man. I'm curious to see. I think that like it's not completely out of norm for them to do still cool shit live. You know, or Undertaker. I mean, he was a mystical character. In front of a live crowd, he did some cool shit. Same with Kane.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I don't know, man.
Or they could do. They start the match in their ring, and then they go fight backstage. Catch the breath, relax, maybe drink some water, get a snack, show up pre-tape stuff, and then come back to the ring.
Yeah, it's got to end in the ring. Yeah, of course.
There's some ways to do it.
We'll see what happens. I mean, the thing is, like, we were able to trust creative back then for them to do it because they're really on top of their game. Now, creative, lots of critiques because they're not necessarily consistent.
No, but they've been doing a bang-up job
with this storyline.
Yeah, in the year of taking full advantage of pre-tape this and pre-tape that. I think they'll do a great job.
I hope so, man, because I am all in on this storyline. And I think this is a storyline that definitely, as I said before, can bring in new audiences, especially like, you know, that horror genre. I mean, it's huge. It's got horror has a cult following in film by itself. Yeah. And I think this with this component in wrestling, I think to bring in some new audiences, a new crowd, and possibly for them to stay. So let's see. Putty, what about you? What was your takedown?
Again, there's so much to talk about this week, man. I think every show was great. A couple weeks ago, after the Elimination Chamber, we went live, Mark. Live on Pod. We did a live show.
It was a bust. Tech-wise, it was a bust.
Yeah, it was our fault. So next time, hopefully it'll be better. But we talked about the Elimination Chamber, which left me not too much time to talk about Impact or NXT. And what I want to talk about NXT was the debut of somebody who I'm a huge fan of. The next week, great promo. Following, great promo. This week, made his TV debut, L.A. Knight.
I had that in my notes as well.
Eli Drake was one of the names that sucked me in right away. I fell in love with this guy. His catchphrases, his promos. I think Eli Drake, L.A. Knight, as he is known by now, is the best talker in the business. WWE, Impact, NXT, MLW, Indies. Nobody compares to L.A. Knight. I can't say his name without doing the whole pointing thing either.
I could see that.
You can see that. So I was so happy he signed with NXT. Not a huge fan of the name. I'd rather be Eli Knight, but okay, whatever.
He's making it work. It's already catchy. He's doing a good job as far as like what you're doing. I mean, you're using the same cadence as he is.
I could see people giving him shit for it because not only is he is a great talker, but he's obviously influenced by Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's the same cadence, it's the same meter as Stone Cold was during the whole what phase.
It's funny, you know, I wasn't even thinking that. You know, I watched this promo. I thought it was a fire promo, and I have to agree with you right now. I have to say, full disclosure, don't know much about Eli Drake. I've heard the name. I don't really know anything about him, his wrestling style, or what he's done beforehand. Don't know. Don't care really right now because it's not about seriously, it's not about yesterday. It's about today.
No, yeah,
like, you could have done a great job yesterday, but it was all about what you do for me today, right now. And right now, you know, he's making a big statement on NXT, already leaving an impression because I have to say, you know, NXT was kind of hit or miss for me this week, but LA Knight, I gotta say, I had the same reaction my wife did watching Orton and Bliss. Phone was coming down, eyes glued on the TV.
Yep.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I'm buying.
He just sucks you in. He just sucks you in. Yeah.
Sucked me in. That was a great promo. One of the best promos I've heard in a long, long time, especially from someone making a debut.
Let me talk to you. It's just. I could talk all night about LA Knight.
The moxie, the confidence. Now, Putty. I mean, I was going to ask you about this. I had him on my notes. I know you know who Eli Drake is. I know you followed his career. He spoke a big game. I'm buying into it. But does he have what it takes to be the guy on NXT?
Absolutely, hands down, total package.
Are they doing him right? Yeah. He's got a great look.
Great look.
He can talk.
He's, again, I will say this till I'm blue in the face, the best talker in the business.
When I saw him, blew me away. And you know who he reminded me of, actually? Stone Cold didn't come to mind. Fuck Stone Cold. When I was watching this guy, I was thinking Ric Flair.
Really?
I was thinking Ric Flair.
In what sense?
Just like, in the sense that, he's got a cool style. It's very modern.
Very, very stylish, yeah.
Sleek, cool. The confidence behind his voice, the bravado. He just, talking himself up to be like, the man on there. And you believe it. You believe every word that he's saying. It's a show. You're entertained and you're buying in at the same time. It really reminded me of Ric Flair. I'm not necessarily saying that he had the same woo for those that didn't see it, but he had his own style too. It just, I don't know, it brought me back to like early Flair.
One of my favorite wrestling weekends was when me and Green Man went to Bound for Glory here in New York City. And the first and only Impact t-shirt I bought was Eli Drake's. I was going to wear it tonight, but I totally forgot about it.
Good job.
Yeah. But I'm so excited about this. Very excited about his future. I think he can destroy it on NXT. I think he'll be one of the faces of NXT, but going to the main roster, I'm worried about it.
Oh, no, really? See, okay, here's the thing. I love the talent in NXT, man. I really do. They have some class act talent over there. It's grade A, man. All these guys and girls, they can go. But as far as the moxie, as far as the charisma value to it, as far as the character, as far as the entertainment, listen, again, as I admit, full disclosure, I have never seen Eli Drake compete in a ring, aka LA Knight. Never seen him compete in a ring. I only know his reputation. And it was my first time laying eyes on him, seeing that promo. I'm excited. It doesn't necessarily matter what he can do in the ring or not. He talks about he's a ground-based style. It's nothing flashy, which I dig, and I think that could work for his wrestling style. But a guy with that character, a guy with that charisma, he's got that. What do people call it? That it factor.
Absolutely,
he's got it.
10,000.
He's got it 1,000%. And I think a guy like that could easily make a name for himself on Raw and SmackDown. The way that any NXT superstar that came in and they flopped, I think it will do quite the opposite. I think he's going to skyrocket.
If he's not that great in the ring, neither was John Cena. But neither
was John Cena, neither was The Rock, neither was Stone Cold.
It was his charisma, his promos, their mic skills that sucked people in. And
they made you believe,
Knight can do it better than anybody right now in the business. Also, I got to give props. I hate to say this. Sheamus Drew McIntyre was a great match.
Oh, it was. They had good chemistry. They had damn good chemistry in there.
As well as Finn Balor and Roderick Strong, main event of NXT.
Yeah. Actually, dude, if we're going to give some love to people, man, I said if I was torn between Raw and AEW, I have to give it up, man, because I had little to no expectations for this match for being a thing. But, man, all four people in that ring stepped it up. I'm giving love to Shaq, Jade Cargill, Cody Rhodes, and Red Velvet, man. Did you watch that match?
Yes, I did.
Were you as surprised as I am?
No.
Did the match do anything for you, or did you think it was going to be good?
Pat McAfee blew me away. Okay?
Pat McAfee, yeah, it blew everyone away.
So when I'm seeing Shaq, I'm not expecting Pat McAfee stuff.
No.
So Shaq is nearly 50. He's huge, 7'6". He's not very mobile. He's not very athletic. But what he did in that ring was very impressive for what he did. He didn't do anything flashy. He barely did anything, really. He did a couple knees, a couple punches, A couple chops and that power bomb, which Cody Rhodes no-sold, which pissed me off. He got who gets right back up for the power bomb?
That was a big ass power bomb too.
Especially for someone who's 7'6", Cody Rhodes gets right back up. What the fuck is Cody Rhodes?
Shaq really was towering. Did you see that one camera angle, like the main camera shot?
Yep.
Shaq was a little bit too close to the middle. It was actually blocking the action.
Yeah, because he was getting in place for the table spot, but the referee was telling him, you're blocking the camera angle.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Big ass motherfucker, man.
I didn't want to talk about it too much because I don't want people to think I'm an asshole, but like, he didn't really surprise me in the fact that he did such a great job, but he did a great job for Shaquille O'Neal.
And dude, that's what I mean. I'm not necessarily saying, oh my God, Shaquille O'Neal signed him to a long-term deal. They do a phenomenal athlete. I am not saying that. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, I had the bar so low, like, you know, to the point where I could just like, I don't even have to lift my feet over the bar. You know, like that's how low I had.
And for what he did, it was like, okay, this is standard Shaq stuff, standard huge man, celebrity stuff. Knee, punch,
taking
slap.
The table bump though.
And that's when he won me over. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing.
His facial expressions were spot on too.
Because I mean, not that I know anything, but he didn't even look like he took it right. Like he just all his weight landed on his ass. Like he didn't put the hands down. He didn't put the elbows down. He landed ass first.
He did. And dude, I think the real stars of that, we talk a lot about Shaq because we had no expectation of him. I have to say the real stars of that match, though, Jade Cargill and Red Velvet.
I wanted to hear your opinion on that because I read reviews and I heard a couple people say that they were not too impressed by them.
How?
I don't know. I mean,
how?
I have no clue who Jade Cargill is, but I'm smitten when I first laid eyes on her. She is amazing. She reminds me of Storm from X-Men.
Yeah, she does. She's
beautiful
got
woman, great physique, great charisma. They're talking about LA Knight, great charisma.
She has presence. She commands that presence.
But I'm thinking they said during the match she attacked or said something to Brandy Rhodes in November, and here we are in like March. Like, how long has this feud been going on?
Yeah, this feud's been going on for quite a bit.
And she made her debut. Like, what was she doing for the last 4 months?
No, I mean she's been around.
Yeah, but no in-ring action. This is her debut.
True. I mean, she looked good in there. So did Red Velvet. I feel like they had good chemistry in there. They lit it up. They had a lot of energy. It does give me some hope for the women's division over there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this wasn't a Shaq Cody Rhodes match. This was Shaq Cody Rhodes thrown in for these two women match.
Yeah,
I just thought it was hilarious how Shaq was unconscious after that table spot. Unconscious, this man was, but yet when he got into the ambulance, he had to put his feet up because he couldn't fit.
and then where did he go?
Yeah,
he opened the ambulance. He's gone. What is he? The Undertaker?
Yeah, something's coming. Something's coming.
Oh man, stop. But, you know, I got to say, I feel like this happens quite a bit. You hear about an athlete coming in to a wrestling match and you have like so little expectations. You know, you saw like Ronda Rousey. You remember her debut match with her and Kurt Angle versus Triple H?
Yeah.
Wound up stealing the show.
Yeah.
That was a match of the night.
But then you go back further to Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, who weren't, man. But then you, as you mentioned before about Pat McAfee, a former punter, a retired punter, if we will. Oh yeah, his name's been mentioned too for signing with AEW.
Yeah, he's not. No, it's not happening. You know, Pat McAfee. I do listen to his show religiously. He said it's not happening. So,
do you believe him though?
I do believe him in this case scenario
because that would be a name that would fit the "you're not expecting it" line.
But Tony Khan says his favorite wrestler. You know, Pat McAfee is not necessarily his favorite wrestler.
You don't know that.
And Pat McAfee was pretty damn good at what he did in there. But I don't necessarily think Pat McAfee wants to do like a full-time wrestling gig. I don't think, at least.
Yeah, who knows? Pat McAfee is a unique character.
He is. He's got a good thing going on his podcast. He does. So I don't think he wants to fuck up with that. Who knows, bro?
Who knows?
I mean, we're going to find out soon enough.
I did think it was weird for a go-home show for a pay-per-view. There was no champion or the main event contenders at all.
Right. I mean,
someone did defend it because there was a post show about leading to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but no one really watches that. I mean, it's a good point. You know, I think that they dropped the ball there. I mean, unless they wanted to put more attention on this possible announcement that's going to happen, or put more attention on the Shaq match.
That was the main event. I mean, that was the first match out. So like,
yeah.
Okay.
So
the main event was like, whatever.
But you have Moxley versus Omega for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and what do they call it? Exploding
something match.
Barbed wire match.
Okay. Barbed wire doesn't explode, first of all. It's wire. It doesn't explode.
I might be making that up, but you know what I mean.
No, you didn't. You're right.
It's a death match. It's a death match.
Which I'm not a fan of, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm not really big on those either, but I have to say I am intrigued to see it on, like, I've never really seen it in this scale before on mainstream wrestling. It'd be in a main event spot.
John Moxley even said it's like, if you don't want to see this violent deathmatch stuff, don't watch. I'm not going to, John. Thanks. Okay. There's definitely an audience for that.
There is.
Great. Awesome. Good. Enjoy it. It's just not my cup of tea. But I'm assuming this will pull in huge numbers because this is not something we've seen here in America. But mainstream on a pay-per-view, like top-tier promotion, I hope it comes off well for them.
I do too, man. I do too. I think they're really stacking up the card, and they're not messing around, man. They want to show everyone, hey, man, we're here to stay. So each and every single time, AEW keeps on raising the bar more and more and more. I'm impressed. Not gonna lie.
A wise man once said, "Controversy creates cash."
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that, man. Dakota Kai or Raquel Gonzalez should be my tag team champions right now. But fucking Adam Pearce had to come in with a fucking Raw referee, and now we're gonna get NXT Women's Championship tag team champions. No. As Stone Cold would say, we have WWE Women's Tag Team Champions that can defend the titles on all three brands. So why would NXT have their own separate tag team championships?
I'm not liking this move either, man. I'm really not. Like,
I had no problem with the move itself, hoping it would lead to something, but it leading to NXT getting their own women's tag team champions, I'm not a fan of.
No. I think it cheapens the whole thing. You know, if they're going to have another women's championship, listen, the tag team championship in the women's tag team championship in general is hardly defended.
Exactly.
It's not anything really, and that goes on all three brands. They're going to have one exclusive to NXT. It just cheapens the whole deal.
Yep.
Listen,
please don't be the announcement. Please think of something.
We talked about having a mid-card belt, and I think that would be gold. That'd be absolute gold. Have that defended in all three brands. But like this, for NXT, it's Bush League. Not a fan.
So then you have your NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Does that mean that the WWE Tag Team Champions can't be defended on NXT anymore?
I guess not.
Because that's bullshit.
I guess not. It's not like they were really anyway, right?
I mean, I had a feeling they wouldn't win, but I thought it would be a screw job, which it was. But I didn't think it would lead to this, man. It's just, this is a huge mistake.
Yeah, it's.
Talked about a couple weeks ago how I felt I think it was 11 championships on the main roster. And they're going to throw another one onto NXT. It just lengthens every show. It's just like
the last thing they need is another tag team championship when they're not a tag team company. WWE.
Hell, they're not. The SmackDown Tag Team Champion, not SmackDown, the Women's Tag Team Championships have an X on them.
So yeah, they do.
What the fuck is NXT? What the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions?
Hey, listen, you want to talk about SmackDown champions? I know that was a slip up, but when was the last time Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode were on TV?
A couple weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm digging this tag team. Finally, unity, team name, logo, unity in their clothing, and then we haven't seen them, 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
And they're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Unfucking.
So it's just another waste of championship. At least if you had a mid-card women's championship, that will be something to talk about. That's something that could be needed, that you can see defended again, all three brands or whatever. You know, I think that would be interesting to see because there are a lot of women out there. There are more women single competitors than there are tag teams.
Yeah.
And I think that division could really, really benefit from that. But I don't know, man. I don't get it. I
don't see Bobby Lashley destroying Drew McIntyre. I don't see Drew McIntyre destroying Bobby Lashley. So, again, hats off to The Miz for doing a job well done. Don't agree with it. Not a fan of the way he was treated, but if anybody was going to do that job, he was the one to do it, and he did it amazingly. Especially doing three matches on one night.
Miz Bobby Lashley gave a lot of love to The Miz on the interview.
He did, and well deserved. I think Miz is awesome. Again, great week of TV.
1,000%.
Mark, you ready to get in some go-home thoughts?
Absolutely, bro. I'm ready to call it a night.
Me too, Mark, because we're doing a show Friday, March 5th, and now I need to wrap this up because I need to watch the finale of WandaVision.
Same, bro.
Okay. I mean, I said a couple weeks ago, I feel like I'm watching the show because I feel like I have to, but the last couple weeks sucked me in. I'm ready to watch what's going on, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers for the last 24 hours because there are a lot of people, Ace Andrews, who watch a show midnight on Thursday evening, and he likes to spoil stuff. So
Ace Andrews loves to spoil things, man.
He even did it today. I was scrolling through my feed, no, I shouldn't do it, and he said a hashtag blah, 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 a quote from the show. I'm like, all right, that's something that happened in the finale. Thank you, asshole.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I was like, such a dick.
Yeah. But again, whatever, because I'm not a bitch about spoilers. It's my fault for not watching when it came out. You want to spoil it? Okay, but I'm just going to at least let me alert me that it's going to be a spoiler. But yeah, I need to watch the show. It's done. Finale. I think it's like almost an hour. Can't wait to watch it. Boom. Great show.
This episode's almost an hour?
I think it's like 54 minutes.
Ooh, okay. Cool. Because, yeah, there are a lot of questions so far.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited, man. Elizabeth Olsen deserved at least a nomination, by the way. Incredible.
Great job.
Incredible.
And who would have thunk when Catherine Hahn...
She's been around for a while, man, Catherine Hahn.
But she did that big reveal, and that song that was played hit #1 on iTunes soundtrack charts.
Did it really? I didn't know that.
It did.
She sang it.
She was part of it, yeah. This is a great song. I listened to it a couple times. It's such an earworm. I'm like, oh.
Great, unique cast, man. I dig it, man.
Yeah, so let's watch it. Let's watch the show, Mark. So let's wrap things up. Any go thoughts beside that?
I just want to say happy birthday to my wife. We're going to be celebrating on Monday.
When's your birthday?
Monday.
So you're coming on this show to wish your wife a happy birthday, yet you didn't say anything to me. What a dick.
I said happy birthday to you last week.
After my birthday. You didn't say anything before the show.
I texted you that.
Yeah,
what?
Whatever, bro.
I texted you. Happy
Clearly,
birthday.
your wife's more important than me.
Well, I mean, yeah, she is. I mean, I don't know
anything else, buddy.
Props to Azrael. I'm going to see him.
That's right.
Ray played at this point. AEW Dark Saturday facing Penta.
Props to AJ Pan, another PCA member getting primetime recognition.
I'll pay respect, man. I gotta pay respect a lot to that. I mean, never really agreed much with the Pan Corps, but
the longest reigning BCW champion, I believe, before Darius Carter came around.
Yeah, before Darius. Yeah. Azrael's been always a phenomenal talent, dude. Always
hot. His matches are just, no matter what you're doing, even if you're not a wrestling fan, not paying attention, somehow you just always get like, oh my God, you get sucked into watching him.
And I gotta say too, like so before this whole pandemic happened, I had my first training session in the ring.
That's right, yeah.
And Azrael was one of the guys there, like showing me some things. And great mind for the business.
Yep.
And I always knew that beforehand, seeing him work at BCW, and just a genuine person, nice guy. Couldn't be happier for him. Seriously.
Then you pair him up with Penta, Mr. Zero Miedo. I don't speak Spanish.
Listen, man, you put Azrael against anyone, he's going to steal the show. And I really hope this opens some doors from over there. Good riddance from BCW. I don't want to see him in BCW anymore. But in all seriousness, man, like great move. Great move.
Yeah, can't wait to watch. I don't watch AEW Dark, but this one I will.
For sure. 1,000%.
Again, Mark, WandaVision finale is waiting for me on Disney Plus, so I'm ready to go home. You ready to wrap things up?
Yeah, I'm out. Peace.
So for Mark Schwann, thank you to Vicious Vicki. Make sure you check our YouTube. Shout out to No A for the Hollywood Corner, name pending on Tuesday.
Hollywood's Corner.
Yeah, name pending. We're going to change the name. But Vicious Vicki, can't wait to watch that. Tuesdays, what time?
9 a.m. it premieres, and
can't wait to watch it. All right, check it out.
YouTube.
Shout out Wrestling No A on YouTube. So for Mark Schwann, for Vicious Vicki, I've been your host at Moxley Putty. Until next week, Putty out.
Schwann out.
Okay, let me edit it out. Hold on. Putty out.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.